Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why is there's no other coach on the internet that spends as much time with their clients as I do. Most other coaches, or so I'm told, spend an hour a week on their client via Zoom. Otherwise, it's just emails and texts. My coaching is unlike any other coaching on the internet. I interact with my clients throughout the coaching 2 to 3 times a week. How my coaching works is I coach mainly with audios and telephone sessions. If it's audio exchange, which is the package of unlimited audios, you send me an audio. I analyze it. It usually takes me a day or two to reply. And give my feedback, my analysis. We usually start with a telephone session every time that you're new in my coaching, just so that we can get together, talk a little bit about what you'd like to work on, where you're at in your manifestational game, and then we proceed to the audio exchange. You do have additional phone calls in that package, which are 4, total of 5. I am a very generous coach. I always go over the hour in the conversation, and I may add other telephone sessions if I feel that it's necessary, depending on the situation. And the other most popular package is the telephone sessions unlimited. Okay, how it works is that the phone session is an hour each. We talk every other day. I record that session simply because I need to take my notes, analyze the session after we hang up, take my extensive notes, and we reconvene with my analysis at the next session. It's a really, really thorough coaching that you won't find anywhere else. If you prepare to do the work on yourself, I really advise you to come into coaching with me. It's pretty intense. It's like a boot camp, very direct personality, myself as a coach. I don't hold back. I tell you exactly how it is. There's a coaching agreement you also need to sign. Basically states that I'm not a psychologist. You can't bombard me. You need to respect me. I do curse in my coaching, not to disrespect you, but to emphasize my point sometimes. I don't use, profanity in the sense that to offend anybody, just to express myself. I think those of you who have been on my channel understand what I mean. In other words, if I say fucking great, that's, to me is cursing, but it doesn't disrespect anybody. And to tell you the truth, I think people should curse a little bit more, let their emotions out. Too many people in my coaching have a lot of bottled up emotions that they need to fucking let out, okay? Anyway, everybody's too proper, for some kind of reason sometimes. Anyway, also the agreement states that everything is confidential and private, of course, unless a situation arises that I feel threatened for whatever reason by you, which is unfortunate that I have to even state in my agreement. But there have been a couple of times that I had stalkers at my townhouse, and that was not pleasant. And there were other situations. So I basically state that unless I have to be alarmed for my safety, everything is completely confidential and private. So that's that. You do have to pre-book my coaching and then email me to book the phone session, and then we proceed to do that and to discuss what you need to work on. If you have any questions, please email me directly below. So I've been actually thinking about it for a while, about this one. This is actually what drives me the most, this topic, how to reach the God state. Because everything that I'm kind of like recording on my channel is geared towards explaining to everyone how to do it. And I know that everybody's favorite subject is SB. Mine is not. I just basically tailor certain audios towards that because everybody wants to hear it. But for me personally, as a person and as a creator of my reality, my intent, my I don't know how to say it, my whole purpose of being, right, it's not how to fucking bring back some fucking person, okay? No disrespect to anybody, seriously, but I think you need to aim higher in your endeavors, in your purpose, in your dreams, okay? And you need to become somebody who doesn't even think about these things, doesn't obsess so much, doesn't make it such a big deal. It's like, to me, honestly, seriously, and I'm not going to brag, but a little bit, maybe, I guess, in some people's ears, it will sound like bragging. To me, bringing back your SP, it sounds like going and getting a meal at a restaurant. You know, for you and for everybody who's listening, should be the number one priority should be becoming the person who you really are, who you ought to be. Not the crying, whining, complaining, miserable person in the corner, but the God, you know, the God that you ultimately are. And nothing pisses me off more than people. Pisses me off is, I think it's too dramatic, but frustrates me, let's just put it this way, frustrates me more than a person in front of me. And I see the God in their eyes, metaphorically speaking, because most of my clients on YouTube I don't get to meet in person, but those people who I have met in person, very often they don't see the God in their eyes. They've got other situations in their mind. They don't even see how godly they are. And that's upsetting to me because I see the potential. They're focused on stupid things like SP and this and that rather than the self-development. I mean, politely put, but basically, who are you? Do you know who you are? You're a God. You should achieve the God state and never lose sight of that godly state. And so I'm going to try to explain how to achieve this as I channel this message for you. I've written down some things. Number one is don't negotiate with logic. Say no to logic. Logic should be, as far as I'm concerned, logic should be just like, is this color green? Is this color black? That's as far as we go with logic. Everything else is illogical in the universe, okay? Things that could happen, that never happened before, could happen today, right now, this week, this month. So you need to establish your kingdom of magic. And what I mean by that is you need to really formulate what it is you'd like to achieve, okay? Your kingdom of magic consists of your desired outcomes, your reality. You have to be there. You have to completely fuse with that reality and understand that it wants you just as much as you want it. Why? Because you're already there. A part of you is already there. If you can imagine it, if you can formulate that reality, a part of you is already there. Now you need to become that person who is already that person who has that reality and is living it and breathing it, which is why we go through belief systems in my coaching, so that you can process your not so great beliefs and formulate new ones, which will allow you to attract this new reality into your world. Okay, it's very important. Nothing happens without processing beliefs. But the kingdom of magic is such that everything is there in your favor. But I mean everything. Momentarily something shitty can happen, but you know how to deal with it. You don't get so upset. You're very intact. You're strong as a Central Park oak tree. You're stubborn like a donkey in the persistence of your dreams. You're there to really just persist in the assumption that everything goes my way. This is my reality. Don't fuck with me over here. This is it. I'm doing this. Okay? And you can change your reality in 1 minute. You can. Provided you've worked on your beliefs. You can change realities in 1 minute, in 1 second. Forget minute, in one split of a second. If you're intentional about it, if you know exactly where you're going, reality, and you understand that you cannot bring your old fucking bullshit with you into the new reality. And a lot of people are so persistent, especially in my coaching, so persistent with being the old person. You cannot, are you listening? You cannot be the old person and live a new reality. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's physically impossible. Quantum physics does not allow for this, darling. It doesn't, okay? Sorry. Okay. The two, it's like, forget it. It doesn't go. Okay? It's like, I don't know, eating watermelon with steak on top of it. Well, maybe some of you would enjoy it, but I don't eat even steak. Anyway, find another kind of like metaphor. It doesn't go. It cannot happen. One frequency has nothing to do with the other. All right? It's kind of like if you're this guy or girl who's got their shit together, and you're this wonderful, like, magnificent being, and you're walking into a restaurant, okay, and you're ready to order, like, the most magnificent meal that you've ever had, right? But you're wearing flip-flops. And you don't have a pedicure. Ew. That's how much it doesn't make any sense. So you get my point, I think. Come up with more metaphors in the comments. I would love to hear those. Okay. The God state is when you are completely that person with like Louboutin shoes or whatever beautiful Prada shoes or whatever the fuck kind of shoes that you really like, custom made shoes, you know. You are that person. You embody that reality. You're there no matter what. Things can go to shit momentarily, but you don't waver, okay? You're there 100% of the time, or maybe 95% of the time, but you're still there most of the time, okay? Ask for more, okay? Whatever you think you want, quintuple it, seriously, or make it 10 times as much, because whatever you think you want right now, that's your perspective from the previous reality. You need to ask for more always. Ask more from yourself, from the universe, to deliver you the goods that you want. Whether that's money, SP, marriage, la 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 la. Ask, but ask. Don't be this shy little idiot in the corner. Oh, I'm so modest. Fuck that shit. Modesty is for idiots. Don't be modest. Ask. Be brave about it. Be bold about it. Ask for everything under the fucking sun and really mean it and say, no, I deserve it. This is for me. I am God. I'm here to live a beautiful experience. Why the fuck would I not ask more beyond what I can even imagine? Beyond what I can even imagine. Whenever I write down my personal goals, I say this or more. I always live up to the expectation of my godliness, and I leave the room for more. Ask for more, because the universe ultimately delivers above and beyond. The absolute assumption that what you asked for is done before you even asked for has to be there. So when simultaneously with you asking and it being already delivered, that's the feeling. It's not like you're asking like, please, please, please. No, I'm asking because I am kind of like going into the library of things available to me right here, right now, and selecting that situation. And it was always there for me to select. There's a difference between begging and selecting. It's always there. The entire shebang is always there. You're just going up to the library, like I said, selecting the situation of your preference, and that's what you manifest. The absolute assumption is that feeling. You're not begging, you're selecting. You're selecting an experience. It's always there for you. Get to know yourself. This is why coaching is so potent and powerful. Most people, I will say this with 100% certainty, do not know themselves. It's like the Bible, know thyself. Profoundly, Bible has a lot of beautiful statements that are just misconstrued by a lot of people, but that's another story for another time. Know thyself to me means you really have to understand who you are before you start creating. Knowing who the creator is, knowing who's staring you in the mirror is essential to understand who the fuck's creating your reality. If you don't know who the chef is, how are you going to enjoy their food? Seriously though. And so how you feel day to day, moment to moment, throughout the day, that means a lot. You can manage that thing. A lot of people have anxiety, negative thoughts, depression, this and that and the other. How do you manage that? If you don't know where it's coming from, how you acquire these kinds of situations, the feelings, the emotions, the beliefs that ultimately make you feel this way, if you don't know yourself. So you have to get to know yourself. Paramount important. And no more compromises. You get what you want. If in the past you were like, well, I'll compromise and I'll just get this and that's good enough for me, fuck that shit. Seriously though, fuck that shit. If you're coming into my coaching, be prepared to ask for the best, the highest, and the best. The best, the highest, and the ultimate. No more compromising. You've been compromising enough. You get what you want. You get what you want. If it sounds like a tall order to you, well, I got news for you. It's all possible. You just haven't allowed yourself to really dream that high. And you've been settling for some kind of bullshit situation instead of asking for more, being completely illogical about your situations, meaning like I can dream as high and as big as I want to be. I can become any person that I want. And I really, 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 do not have to keep my old beliefs that I've picked up from other fucking people. Stop insisting on your old beliefs. They haven't served you thus far. Why the fuck are you hanging on to them? Stop doing that to yourself. A lot of people are such huge, like you would think, like sometimes I talk to people that are such huge advocates of their old beliefs. I'm like, are you listening to yourself? Seriously though, seriously right now? Are you listening to yourself? You are trying to convince me of your dysfunction, and as I'm trying to get you out of it. So if you'd like to stay in your dysfunction, be my guest. But my assumption is if you're getting into coaching, that you had just about enough of your fucking dysfunction. So why be the attorney, the defense attorney for your beliefs? That's fucking stupid. It's stupid as fuck. And finally, I'd like to leave you with this. Scripting is like a fairy tale. An adult fairy tale. Now, don't get any ideas. I'm saying adult, that it's not for children, okay? It's an adult fairy tale where you literally depict what it is you're going to embark upon in the very near future. Scripting is like this. It's getting lost in the new story. You got lost in some kind of other story momentarily. But just as you did that, you can get lost in the new amazing story, one that is on purpose, deliberate, wonderful, with everything you've got, with everything that you want going on. And you can get it, and in an easy way. You don't have to struggle. It's all easy. By the way, here's the most difficult part for people, and I'm going to close with this. Themselves. The hardest part is to face yourself, to work on yourself, and to ultimately change yourself. Everything else is fucking easy. To be in a God state is understanding that you are a human being here on earth with godlike abilities. The human part of you has come thus far with some baggage that you've experienced, the situations, relationships, etc. And if you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. Your mind creates very powerfully. That's the God-like ability that you've got. But the human being that you are, you've got to process certain things before you move on to something that you've been dreaming about. It's just like going up to a car, opening the hood, and basically cleaning the fucking engine. That's all it really is. If you don't take care of a Rolls Royce, it's going to go to shit. You're a Rolls Royce with an engine that hasn't been cleaned. That's all I'm saying. You're a beautiful, marvelous living room with a pile of shit of garbage in it. Now, it's still marvelous, but the shed of pile of garbage it just needs to go, my darling. And that's all it really is. And so to be in God state, you really have to acknowledge what is out of whack. And once it's gone, it's on. You've got no more quote unquote enemies. There is just pure creation. There is this formidable encounter day in and day out with your magical world, and I'm not exaggerating. I've lived this through my clients who have taken my advice and didn't rebuttal me, and it's just formidable what happens when people let go of trying to convince me, or themselves for that matter, of their dysfunction. Stop with the justifying of the dysfunction and embark on a new chapter of your life where you actually get to exercise and live the life that you truly were meant to live. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, my information is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.